Today let's solve 2019 AP ESET physics questions. So here the question is given related to dimension formula. So we have an equation a by t square is equal to fv into beta by x square. So here, according to the principle of homogeneity, so each term on both sides of equation must have same dimension. Therefore, alpha by t square must be equal to f into v, or I can simply write alpha by m power 0 l power 0 t power 2 is the dimension formula of force is m l t power minus 2 and velocity is m l t power minus 1. If I do the multiplication, I will be left with alpha is t square into ml t power minus 2 into ml t power minus 1, or I will be getting value of alpha as m l square t power minus 1. Now similarly, alpha by t square must have the dimension formula of beta by x square, or now I have substituted the value of alpha ml square t power minus 1 divided by power 0 l power 0 t power 0 is beta by m power 0 l square t power 0. Now we will be having value of beta is m l power 4 t power minus 3. So the answer is option number 3. So what are the which of the following, coming to the next question, which of the following quantities has not been expressed in proper units? So if you see Young's modulus is simply stress by strain, which is the unit for stress is Newton per meter square, and strain will have no units. Therefore, it is generally Newton per meter square. Now, surface tension has a formula force by length, which is Newton per meter. This is also correct. Next, pressure is simply force by area, which is Newton per meter square. This is also correct. So if we are left with the only option, energy is equal to kg meter per second, which is generally energy is mg into h, or kg into meter square per second square. So this unit is wrong. So next we have three vectors a, b, c, and they satisfy the relation a into b is equal to 0 and a dot c is equal to 0. Student has to remember dot product is of two vectors mod a into b is mod a into mod b magnitude. Here mod is magnitude into cos theta, and a bar cross b bar is magnitude of a into magnitude of b into sin theta. Here it is given a dot b is 0, which means the angle between these two vectors is 90 degrees. Similarly, a dot c is 0, which means the angle between a and c is 90 degrees. Now since a is perpendicular to b and a is perpendicular to c, we can understand a is perpendicular to both b and c. I'm saying b and c. So if you see the options, two options are already eliminated, so we have two options. Now if you observe, b cross c is a vector which is generally perpendicular to both b and c. So if you observe this particular point, we will be left with the answer b cross c. Next, let's go to the next question. So we have three vectors A, B, C, and each of the magnitude is given. Now we are also given a condition that C is equal to A plus B. Now we are supposed to calculate the theta here. So as said in the above formula, for dot product the value is magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos theta. So given equation is C is equal to A plus B. Now if I square on both sides plus B whole square, this will be A square plus B square plus 2 A into B dot product, which will be A square plus B square plus 2 mod A magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos theta is equal to C square. Given C is 13, A is 12 and B is 5. So if I solve this, 169 is equal to 144 plus 25 plus 2 12 are 24 into 5, 120 cos theta, or cos theta is equal to 0, or theta is 90 degrees. Now let's go to the next question. So what is the question given here? The stone is dropped from a particular height and it reaches the ground. So we have the time variable, which is 5 seconds. If it is stopped after 3 seconds of its fall and it is allowed to fall again, here what is the time taken is the question asked. Now initially it is given stone can reach ground at 5 seconds. So we can calculate the total height here, which is h is equal to, or s is equal to ut plus half at square. As it is a free falling, you have u is equal to 0 because it is a free falling body. So here h is equal to 0 plus half into a is equal to g, gravity, so 10 into 25, or I can write 5 square. So h will be 125 meters. Now it is given the stone is stopped at 3 seconds. So I have to calculate how much distance it has traveled in this 3 seconds, which is also given by s is equal to ut plus half at square. Or I can simply say s is 0 plus half into 10 into 3 square. So here s is 9 into 10, 45, or I'll let s1. So it has already traveled 45 meters. Now what is the remaining height, which is h dash is 125 minus 45, which is 80 meters. Now what is the equation which is governing the above problem is s is equal to ut plus half at square, because it is a free falling body. So 80 is equal to 0 plus half into 10 into t square. 80 is equal to 0 plus half into 10 into t square, or I can write 5t square is equal to 80, or t square is equal to 16, or t is equal to 4. So answer is 4 seconds. So what is the range? The range of a projectile fired at an angle 15 degrees is 50 meters, and if it is fired with the same speed at an angle of 45 degrees, what will be the range? So at 15 degrees angle I am firing it, and the total distance here is 50 meters. So generally the range formula is u square sin theta sin 2 theta by g. Therefore here if we substitute 50, range is 50 meters, u square into sin 2 into 15, which is sin 30 degrees, divided by g value is 10, I will be getting u square is equal to 1000, or u is equal to root 1000 meter per second. Now he is asked to increase the theta value to 45 degrees. Now same, the range formula R is u square sine into 2 theta by g, or I can write u square is 1000 as we calculated in the early step into sine of 2 into 45, which is sine 90, divided by the g value is 10. So I will be left with the range is 100 meters. Next, let's go to the next question. So here a free falling body acquires a velocity v meters per second, free falling, therefore as he said it is free falling, u is 0, through a distance of 80 meters. So how much further distance should it fall so as to acquire a velocity of 2v meters per second? Here acceleration g is given as, or gravitational force is 10 meters per second square. So we apply our Newton's formula equations, laws of motion. V square is equal to u square minus 2as. So here, as since u is 0, v square is equal to 2as. Here v square is 2 into a is g, or 10, into s is given as 80 meters. So I can write v square is equal to 2 into 10 into 80, or v is 40 meters per second. Now in the second case, the question given is the next continuation. So here the initial velocity will be 40 meters per second square, which we calculated here, and the final velocity will be 2v, which is 80 meters per second square. Now here what is he asking? The distance. So same, v square minus u square is equal to 2as is the formula. So 80 square minus 40 square is equal to 2 into 10 into h. So 80 minus 40 square, I will be applying a square minus b square is 80 plus 40 is 120, a plus b into a minus b. So I can simply write 120 into 40 is equal to 2 into 10 into h, or 22s are, or h is simply 240 meters. Now let's go to the next question. So a block is projected along a rough horizontal road with a speed of 10 meters per second. So I am given the initial speed and coefficient of friction, the mu value is given as 0.10. Now he is asking what is the distance, or s, travelled by it before coming to rest. So as per Newton's laws of motion, we have v square is equal to u square, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. In this case, the initial velocity is given as 10 meters per second, and mu is 0.10. S is to be calculated. If you observe, finally the point is it is coming to rest, therefore v will be 0. So I can simply substitute 0 square minus 10 square is 2 into a into s. Now if you observe, acceleration will be minus mu into g, and here the negative symbol is because it indicates retardation. If I substitute that here, so minus 10 square is equal to 2 into minus 0.10 into 10 g value into s, or I will be getting s is equal to 100 divided by 2, or s is 50 meters. So the next question. So what is the force to which a 200 Newton, so I have mg given here, up at 30 degrees, so angle of inclination theta is 30 degrees, with an acceleration, so we have given acceleration parameter. Now what is the force to be applied along the plane in this case? So I'll just draw a symbolic diagram of this. So I have a body here, so I am drawing the lines of force. So mg, which is 200 Newton, will be pulling down. So the two components, mg sin theta and mg cos theta, and the force being pulled here, and theta is given as 30 degrees. Now simply in this case, force is nothing but mass into acceleration, or the force component exactly opposite to this is minus mg sin theta, which is mass into acceleration. So acceleration is given as 2, and since here if you observe the m into g is 10, which is 200 Newton, but I can simply write mass is 20, so 20 into 2, and here F minus m is 20, g is 10, and sine of 30 is 1 by 2, so I can write simply as 1 by 2. So F minus 200 by 2 is equal to 20 into 2, or F is equal to 140. So the next question. So here also a block of mass is given directly on a roughly inclined plane, making an angle of, so I have angle theta here with the horizontal, and the coefficient of friction here is also given as 0.7, and is asking to calculate the frictional force. So let's draw the diagram. So angle theta is 30 degrees. So we have a block and the two forces. So the weight mg is pulling it down, and the components of force mg sin theta, mg cos theta, the force in the opposite direction. So here m is given as 2 kg, theta is 30 degrees, mu is 0.7, or I can simply write F is equal to mg sin theta, which is to be calculated. So m is 2, g is 9 point given, into sine is sine 2 into 30, which is 2 into 9.8 to 1 by 2, or simply the force, frictional force is 9.8 Newton. So the next question. So a man moves on a straight horizontal road with a block of mass. So here mass is given as 2 kg, and if he covers a distance, so here s is given 40 meters with an acceleration is given. He is asking what is the work done by the man during the motion, given g is 10. So the work done is simply force into distance, or force can be written as mass into acceleration. So here mass is 2, acceleration is equal to gravity, or I can write it as 10, and the distance traveled is, acceleration is given in the question as 0.5, and distance is 40 meters. So simply it is 40 joules. So the next question. So in a factory, it is decided to lift 2000 kgs of metal. So mass is given through a distance. So S distance is given, and time is also given as 1 minute. So here he is asking what is the minimum horsepower of the engine to be used. So generally power is having the formula work done by time. So work done is simply force into distance by time, and force is mass into acceleration into, which is mass into acceleration into distance by time. So here mass is given as 2000, acceleration is given as, which is simply 10, and distance is 12 meters, and time is 1 minute or 60 seconds. So I can simply calculate. So I'll be getting power as 4000 watts, but we have a notation 1 horsepower is 746 watts. So if I divide this power by 746, I'll be getting it in horsepower, which is 5.3 horsepower. Next, so energy harnessed from flowing water. So I'll go with elimination. Solar is related to sun, tidal is related to wind, thermal is related to in earth. So I'll be left with tidal, which is related to power. So here, when a particle executing simple harmonic motion passes through a mean position, so if you remember the graph of displacement and energy, so this is the energy position and the displacement position. So I will be having potential and kinetic energies which are going like this. So this will be having from minus A to A. It will be having maximum kinetic energy and minimum potential energy. Okay. So next, so given a particle of mass, here mass is given 200 grams, executes simple harmonic motion, and is also given the spring constant value as 80 Newton per meter. Is asking to calculate the time period. We have the time period formula is equal to t is equal to 2 pi into root m by k. If I substitute this 2 pi into root m is 0.2, because 200 grams is to be converted into kgs, divided by 80 is 2 pi into root 2 by 800 or 1 by 400 is 2 pi into 1 by 20 or 2 pi by 20 or pi by 10, or I can write it as directly 0.31 seconds. Coming to the next question, temperature at which the speed of sound will be double of its value at 0 degrees. So here initial sound velocity is v1. Now he is saying that the speed will be doubled, which is nothing but multiplication of initial speed. So initially take t1 is 0 degrees or 273 Kelvin. Now he is asking us to find out the value of t2. So we know that velocity of sound is proportional to square root of temperature. So I can simply write v1 square is proportional to t, or v1 square by v2 square is equal to t1 by t2. So if I substitute v1 and v2 as 2v1 whole square in this equation, t1 by, so t1 is 273 divided by t2. So I will be getting t2 is 273 into 4, which is 1092 Kelvin. So if I take it into temperature in degrees, 1092 minus 273, which comes up 819 degrees. So this is also a theory question. So if the source of the sound moves towards an observer, then you have to observe that the wavelength of the sound in the medium towards the observer is decreasing. So the next is a problem. So a cinema hall has a volume of 7,500 meter cube. So the total absorption in the hall, if the reverberation time is 1.5 seconds. So Sabine's formula application. So Sabine, as per Sabine formula, time t is 0.165 into v by summation of the area. So here sigma a is simply point so if I rearrange the formula, I will be getting 0.61165 into v divided by t will be your absorption area. So 0.165 into V is given as 7500 divided by T is given as 1.5 seconds. So simply, so if I write into 10 and do the calculation, I'll be left with 825 ODW. So this is a simple formula which you have to remember. So here 1 mole of oxygen is heated at a constant pressure starting at 0 degrees. Now he is asking what is the heat energy that must be supplied to gas the double its volume. It is simply this option. I'll tell you why exactly it is. So if you remember here, at constant pressure volume doubles. So PV is equal to nRT. Here P and R are constants. At when these are constant, voltage is proportional to P is proportional to T. So here in the question is asking if V doubles, then T also will be doubling. So in the initial equation, first case, P1 is P and V1 is V and T1 is 273 K. In the next case, it is being doubled. So P2 is equal to P1, P2 is equal to 2V1, and T2 is equal to 2T1. Now what is the formula of heat energy? It is N into Cp into delta T. However, for oxygen, Cp is 7 by 2 into R. This is the standard formula we have to remember. And N is the number of moles in this formula. So I can write Q is equal to N is 1 and Cp is 7 by 2 into R, and delta T is T2 minus T1. Here T2 and T1 values, if you observe, T2 is 2T1, or I can simply generate it as 7 by 2 into R into T1. So this is an answer. So I'm converting it into Kelvin scale. So the next question. So a vessel contains a gas at a temperature of T1 is 27 degrees at a pressure of 20 atmospheres. If one half of the other gas is released and the temperature of the remaining gas is raised at 50 degrees, what will be the pressure be? So we have our formula PV is equal to N into RT. Now here R is constant, therefore simply PV is proportional to PV by NT is proportional to R, or I can write P1 V1 by N1 T1 is P2 V2 by N2 T2. So here T1 is 27 degrees or 300 Kelvin, P1 is 20 atmospheres, N1 is, let us consider it is same, and we have N2 is N1 by 2 because half of the gas is removed, and T2 will be above 50 degrees above this room temperature. So I can simply write 300 plus 50 or 350 Kelvin. So now I substitute here. Since here volume is constant, so I can simply write P1 by V gets cancelled. So P1 by N1 T1 is P2 by N2 T2. So if I rearrange the terms, P2 will be P1 by N1 T1 into N2 T2. So P1 is 20, N1 is unknown, and T1 is 300, N2 is again N1 by 2 and T2 is 350. So if I calculate it, I'll be left with 11.7. The P2 is 11.67 or 11.7. So the next question. So here the temperature of a 5 gram gas, I'm given N, is raised from 0 to 1 degrees. So T1 and T2 are given. He is asking the increase in internal energy of air. Okay. So N is 5, T1 is 0 degrees or 273 Kelvin, T2 is 273 plus 1, which is 274 Kelvin. So delta T is 274 minus 273, which is 1. So heat has a formula, dQ is N into Cv into delta T. So here if you observe, Cv value is given as 0.172. So if I substitute it, so dQ will be, N is given as 5 into 0.172 into delta T, which is 1. So I am left with dQ is 0.86. This is the first step. So here if you observe, volume is constant, therefore it is an isochoric process. So dQ will be equal to dV. So however, the units here are to be in joules, in erg per calorie. So I have to substitute it. So 0.86 into 4.18 into 10 power 7 erg per calorie, and the calorie will be converted. So 0.86 into 4.18 is simply 3.59 into 10 power 7. So the option is this. So in all reversible process, entropy of the system will be remaining constant. Entropy remains constant basically in reversible process. In case of irreversible process, entropy will be increasing. So next, let's go to the next question. If 1 mole of monoatomic gas with gamma as 5/3 is mixed with 1 mole of triatomic gas with Y as 7/5 or gamma, so what is the value of the mixture? So the mixture value is Cp mixture by Cv mixture. So first monoatomic gas, it is Cp is 5/2R and Cv is 3/2R. In case of the second, which is a diatomic, Cp will be 7/2R and Cv will be 5/2R. So as I am mixing both of them, so it will be 5/2R plus 7/2R divided by 2 divided by 3/2R plus 5/2R. This is 3R and this is 2R. So I'll be left with 1.5. So electrons are emitted with zero velocity for velocity is 0 for a certain, from a certain metal space. It is exposed to a wavelength of lambda is 7000 angstrom units. We are asking the work function. So we have a formula E is equal to W naught plus Ke max for the electrons being emitted. So here velocity is 0, therefore Ke is 0, or the work function is simply E, and we have E as 12,400 by lambda naught. So here it is 12,400 by lambda is 7,000 angstroms. So it is simply 1.77 electron volts. Coming to the last question of the day, superconductivity. So what exactly is superconductivity? When your resistance is 0. So this are cancelled. So I have only two options. What will happen? It will be completely diamagnetic. It's not paramagnetic. So this is the answer.